Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we read from Canto 10, Chapter 9, text number 1 and 2. Donc Srimad Bhagavatam, chant 10, chapitre 9, versets 1 et 2.
The second verse is on the board. In a little bit.
Shishuka uvacha ekada griyada shishu yashoda nanda gehini karmahantara niyuktasu nirmamanta svayam dadi yahi yani iha gitani tadbalacharitani cham dadi nirmantane kare smaranti tani agayatam. Shishuka uvacha ekada griyada shishu yashoda nanda geni karmantara niyuktasu nirmamanta svayam dadi yani hagitani tadbala charitani cha dadi nirmantane kale smaranti tani hagayata yani hagitani tadbala charitani cha dadi nirmantane kale smaranti tani hagayata.
Yani hagitani Tabbala charitani cha Dadinimantane kale Smaranti tanya gayata Yani hagitani Tabbala charitani cha Dadinimantane kale Smaranti tani agayata Yani hagitani Tabbala charitani cha Dadinimantane kale Smaranti tani agayata Yani hagitani Tabbala charitani cha Dadinimantane kale Smaranti tani agayata
Apagis.
Yani
hagitani Tabbala charitani cha Dadinimantane kale Smaranti tani agayata.
Actually, I want to read the nutshell that they write before, chapter 9. Mother Yashoda beings Lord Krishna. Then we go to war. While Mother Yashoda was allowing Krishna to drink her breast milk, she was forced to stop because she saw the milk pan boiling over on the oven. The maid servants, being engaged in other business, she stopped allowing Krishna to drink from her breast and immediately attended to the overflowing milk pan. Krishna became very angry because of his mother's behavior and devised a means of breaking the pots of yogurt. Because he created this disturbance, Mother Yashoda decided to bind him. These incidents are described in this chapter. One day, the maid servant being engaged in other works, Mother Yashoda was churning the yogurt with butter herself, and in the meantime, Krishna came and requested her to allow him to suck her breast milk. Of course, Mother Yashoda immediately allowed him to do so, but then she saw that the hot milk on the oven was boiling over, and therefore she immediately stopped allowing Krishna to drink the milk of her breast and went to stop the milk on the oven from overflowing. Krishna, however, having been interrupted in his business of sucking the breast, was very angry. He took a piece of stone, broke the churning pot, and entered a room where he began to eat the freshly churned butter. When Mother Yashoda, after attending to the overflowing milk, returned and saw the pots broken, she could understand that this was the work of Krishna, and therefore she went to search for him. When she entered the room, she saw Krishna standing on the ulukalla, a large mortar for grinding spices. Having turned the mortar upside down, he was stealing butter hanging from the swing and was distributing the butter to the monkeys. As soon as Krishna saw that his mother had come, he immediately began to run away, and Mother Yashoda began to follow him. After going some distance, Mother Yashoda was able to catch Krishna, who because of his offense was crying. Mother Yashoda, of course, threatened to punish Krishna, and if he acted that way again, and then she decided to bind him with rope. Unfortunately, when the time came to knot the rope with which she wanted to bind him was short by a distance equal to the width of 2 fingers. When she made the rope longer by adding another rope, she again saw that it was short by 2 fingers. Again and again she tried, and again she found the rope too short by 2 fingers. Thus she became very tired, and Krishna, seeing his affectionate mother so tired, allowed him to be bound. Now, being compassionate, he did not show her his unlimited potency. After Mother Yashoda bound Krishna and became engaged in other household affairs, Krishna observed 2 Yamal Arjuna trees, which were actually Narakuvera and Manigriva, the 2 sons of Kuvera who had been condemned by Narada Muni to become trees. Krishna, by his mercy, now began to proceed towards the trees to fulfill the desire of Narada Muni. So text 1 and 2. Shishuka Uvacha. Shishukadev Goswami said. Ekada. One day. Griyada Shishu. When all the maid servants of the household were otherwise engaged, Yashoda, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Gehini, the queen of Nanda marriage, Karma Hantara, in other household affairs, Niyuktasu, being engaged, Nirmamanta, charmed, Swayam, personally, Dadi, the yogurt, Yani, all such, Yani, such, Iha, in this connection,
in this connection.
Gitani, songs, Tadbala Charitani, in which the activities of her own child
in which the activities of the one child
were enacted. Cha and Dadi Nirvatani, while churning the yogurt. Kari, at that time. Smaranti, remembering. Tani, all of them. In the form of songs. Agayata, chanted. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Shukadev Goswami continued. One day, when Mother Yashoda saw that all of the maidservants were engaged in other household affairs, she personally began to churn the yogurt. While churning, she remembered the childish activities of Krishna, and in her own way, she composed songs and enjoyed thinking to herself about all of those activities. Traduction par Srila Prabhupada. Shri Shukadev Goswami poursuivit. Donc là, Shukadev Goswami, le grand sage Avadhuta pratiquement, parle à Maharaj Parikshit, qui est l'empereur, pas seulement de Bharat-Varsha, mais de toute la terre, tout Jambudvi. Donc, qui est condamné à périr dans les 7 jours qui viennent, et donc qui est assis près du Gange. Et donc Shukadev Goswami lui explique la science de Dieu à travers le Srimad Bhagavatam. Donc là, Shukadev Goswami parle des gloires des Vrajbasi, ceux qui habitent à Vrindavan, particulièrement Yashoda et Nanda Maharaj, qui sont comme les chefs de file des Vrajbasi. Shri Shukadev Goswami poursuivit. Un jour, Mère Yashoda, constatant que toutes les servantes étaient occupées à d'autres tâches domestiques, se mit à barater elle-même le yogourt. Ce faisant, elle se souvenait des activités enfantines de Krishna, au sujet desquelles elle composait des chants à sa manière, prenant plaisir à les fredonner pour elle-même. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, quoting from the Vaishnav Toshani Oshi Sanatan Goswami, says that the incident of Krishna's breaking the pot of yogurt and being bound by Mother Yashoda took place on the Deepawali day, or Deepa Malika. Even today in India, this festival is generally celebrated very gorgeously in the month of Kartik by fireworks and lights, especially in Bombay. It is to be understood that among all the cows of Nanda Maharaj, several of Mother Yashoda's cows ate only grasses so flavorful that the grass would automatically flavor the milk. Mother Yashoda wanted to collect the milk from these cows, make it into yogurt and churn it into butter personally. Since they thought that its child, Krishna, was going to the houses of neighborhood gopas and gopis to steal butter because he didn't like the milk on yogurt, ordinarily prepared. While churning the butter, Mother Yashoda was singing about the childhood activities of Krishna. It was formerly a custom that if one wanted to remember something constantly, he would transform it into poetry, or as it is done by a professional poet. It appeared that Mother Yashoda did not want to forget Krishna's activities at any time. Therefore, she poeticized all of Krishna's childhood activities, such as the killing of Putana, Agasura, Sakatasura, and Trinavarta, and while churning the butter, she sang about these activities in poetical form. This should be the practice of persons eager to remain Krishna conscious 24 hours a day. This incident shows how Krishna conscious Mother Yashoda was. To stay in Krishna consciousness, we should follow such persons. résumé de la teneur reportée de Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada explique que, en fait, ce divertissement s'est passé le jour du Deepavali, qui est encore célébré de nos jours en Inde, avec force, pétards, lumière, bougies, etc. Donc, ce qui se passait, c'est qu'en fait, Yashoda Maï s'occupait personnellement de nourrir certaines vaches avec une herbe plus riche et plus spéciale pour en extraire un lait et des pâtisseries, des choses qui avaient plus de goût que celles des autres Vrajvasi. Parce qu'elle voyait que Krishna volait chez les voisines, et donc elle pensait qu'il faut que je fasse une meilleure préparation et un meilleur lait. Comme ça, il ne volera pas. L'autre point, c'est que, qui est décrit aussi à partir du verset, Srila Prabhupada développe que, en fait, la coutume, c'était que les gens qui aiment vraiment quelque chose, ils fredonnent ou ils font une chanson de ce qui leur rappelle ce qu'ils aiment bien. Et ils font faire ça soit par un musicien professionnel ou ils inventent de leur propre manière. Et c'est ainsi qu'en fait Yashoda elle-même, elle inventait ses propres chansons qui décrivaient les activités de Krishna, comme tuer Agasura, Shakatasura, Trinavarta, soulever la colline Govardhan, etc. Donc c'est sa manière de, Prabhupada utilise le mot, poéticize, pour rendre en poésie les divertissements de Krishna. Om Ganatiminandasya Gananjala Sharakala Chatchuruminitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Shtapitam Inamutale Soya Rupa Karamadhyam Dadati Swapadantika E Krishna Karina Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagat Pati Gopesha Gopika Kantarada Kantana Manstute Tapta Kanchana Gorange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Manchakan Patarubhyasha Kripa Sindhuya Evacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So in these verses we see how Shukadev Goswami is started by explaining the supreme position of Nanda Maharaj and particularly Yashoda Mai, who is described here as Nanda Gehini, the queen of Nanda Maharaj. Actually, Yashoda Mai was the chief devotee in all of Vraj. And when we speak of advancement, we cannot estimate between the Gopi, Radharani, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, who is the most exalted. We lose our mind in finding how exalted that devotion is. But factually, for the sake of making someone an authority, here Shukadev Goswami puts Yashodamani as the top authority in Vrindavan. Donc, dans ces versets, on voit comment, en fait, Shukadev Goswami explique les gloires des dévots de Krishna, et particulièrement des Vrajbasi, et d'entre les Vrajbasi, particulièrement les gloires de Nanda Maharaj et de Yashoda Mai, qui est décrit comme Nanda Gehini, qui veut dire la reine de Nanda Maharaj. Et si on doit classifier les dévotes en termes de dévotion, évidemment, à Vrindavan, on perd son mental. Essayer d'estimer l'infini, c'est pratiquement impossible. Mais pour pouvoir catégoriser ou mettre quelqu'un en place en autorité, eh bien, en fait, on voit que la Yashoda Mai est la reine des Vrajbasi, même si Krishna préfère Radharani ou préfère les gopis, il préfère tout le monde. So Krishna is very fond of the gopis, of Radharani, of the Vrajbasi, and he has particular pastime with Yashoda Mai, related to the fact that he chose her as his mother, and decided to be petted and fed by the mother Yashoda, because giving the milk from the breast is like giving a part of the blood. It's very intimate, the relationship. That's why Yashoda Mai have a particularly intimate relationship with Krishna. Above all of the other Rajbashi, especially in Vatsalya Raj, she is the queen in this field. Donc on voit qu'en fait, dans tous les échanges spirituels que Krishna avec ses habitants de Vrindavan, en fait, il chérit particulièrement la relation parentale avec Mother Yashoda, avec Mère Yashoda, parce qu'elle s'occupe de lui, elle le chouchoute sous tous les aspects, elle le change, elle le nourrit, elle donne son sein, son lait qui est une transformation de son sang. C'est une relation très intime, en fait, que Yashoda Mai échange avec le Seigneur Krishna. Donc, so now we enter in another very confidential pastime, which is sticking to our season. We are entering into autumn, and particularly in India, it is also autumn. It's a season where everybody is happy because the grain is at home. We have plenty fruits, plenty rice, plenty wheat. The crops have been done, and there's plenty abundance of water, and it is still hot, and still a lot of perfume, flowers still here and there. So people are in a very joyful mood. And when they celebrate this Deepavali day, it's overflow of lamps, giwis, firecrackers, lamp decoration on all kind of temple, be it Vishnu, Shiva, or demigods. It's everywhere. In the house, it's a big festival. People are very happy. Donc à cette époque de l'année, qui colle en fait avec la saison que l'on est en train de vivre, l'automne, qui est aussi l'automne en Inde, Deepavali est célébré avec force petites lampes, ampoules, décoration avec des LED sur les temples un peu partout, des pétards, beaucoup d'opulence parce que les gens sont heureux. Les récoltes ont été faites, les greniers sont pleins, il y a plein de blé, plein de riz, plein de fruits, il y a encore des fleurs, il y a encore l'ambiance de l'été qui est là. Et les gens sont particulièrement heureux parce que l'Inde traditionnelle, c'est une Inde de Vaishya, où il y a beaucoup de gens qui dépendent de la terre et qui cultivent le sol et qui sont en phase avec les saisons. La mousson est très importante. So in India, it's very important to be in phases with the nature because most of people are working, tilling the land and depending on the riches from the soil and the monsoon, the rains. People are mostly depending on that. When you arrive in India, you will see through the window all this patchwork of little land because everybody has a piece of or property of a piece of land and they take some wheat from it or something from the land. It's very different from the West where you have such kilometers long fields where it is concentrated in the hand of a few farmers. In India, traditionally, everybody has his own and is trying to be auto-sufficient. Now it's being changed because people are going to the city, but traditionally, people were living from what they had, from the soil. So at this time, the riches of the Rajbasi was mainly the land and the cows. Because there was plenty rain, there was plenty grass, then plenty dairy and milk products. That was their way of living. Donc, à cette époque de l'Inde, le business principal des Rajbasis, c'était cultiver la terre, prendre les richesses de la forêt aussi et de l'herbe. Comme il pleuvait beaucoup, il y a beaucoup d'herbe, donc beaucoup de vaches, donc beaucoup de produits laitiers, et c'est ça qui leur donnait la richesse. L'économie était arrangée de cette manière, très différente de maintenant. So, and it is said also that the riches of Nanda Maharaj and Yashodamani you could not count it. It was millions of cows, millions of arrangement, little patch for eating, this patch of pasture for eating, this place in Govardhan hill for eating, this that's a rotating area. That was their way of living, and they were immensely rich. They had plenty gold, pearls, jewels. They would bargain this way, and they could be immensely rich. They had silk. They had all the facilities that you had in India, buildings, all this. It was a very gorgeous town, actually, just from the product of the earth, barely. Donc à cette époque, les Nanda Maharaj et Yashoda, c'était un peu les chefs de file des Vaishyas à Vrindavan, et donc ils étaient immensément riches. Les richesses se comptaient en millions de vaches. Ils avaient tout ce qu'ils pouvaient désirer avoir en termes de vêtements, en soie, des bijoux, de l'or, de l'argent, des pierres précieuses, des perles. Ils pouvaient échanger tout ça simplement avec les produits laitiers qui étaient extraits de la terre, en fait. Ils vivaient simplement de la terre. That's the form of autosufficiency that we would like to aspire to. Fortunately, we are in between two economies. The economy that Srila Prabhupada wants and the economy we are living with around. Donc l'économie proposée par la culture védique est vraiment une économie d'autosuffisance basée sur une vie simple, donc pas trop de désirs matériels pour pas cumuler les gadgets, et qui dépend des ressources dans lesquelles on vit, de la terre, de la forêt, ces choses-là. Donc pour les dévots, c'est une situation difficile parce que notre économie, elle est entre deux chaises, entre celle que propose Srila Prabhupada et la culture védique, et l'économie dans laquelle on ne peut pas complètement être indépendant, l'économie bricolée de politiciens et autres financiers, et faux argent, etc. So, Srila Prabhupada created this community in the West for giving a model. All we should aspire to. We are far from it, but still, the model is there in order to make an endeavor towards its end. Donc, Srila Prabhupada proposait créer des communautés à droite à gauche pour viser quelque chose qui ressemble à la culture védique, sachant bien qu'il y a des concessions qui sont à faire parce qu'on vit dans la société actuelle. Mais Srila Prabhupada donnait un but lequel à atteindre, et comme ça on a quelque chose à viser dans le mental. So the devotees, they always have to have a target, something to refine, or that they want to nurture in their mind, in their desires, in their life, so that they can direct their energy and their meditation. Donc les dévots doivent d'avoir dans la tête un mental, un but exalté à atteindre. Peut-être qu'il ne sera pas atteint cette vie, mais On doit cultiver comme ça le désir, parce que c'est tout, la vie spirituelle est toute affaire de désir. Because spiritual life is a whole affair of cultivating the right spiritual desire. So we have to keep this in the mind in order to progress in spiritual life, to nurture spiritual desire. Krishna likes when we have spiritual desire. He likes when we have spiritual emotions, spiritual dealings. That's the food of Krishna. What Krishna likes in the endeavor of a devotee is its aim, the endeavor, and what kind of desire he cultivates. These are the important details in spiritual life. Donc dans la vie spirituelle, les détails sont importants et Krishna voit l'effort qui est fait pour faire tel ou tel service et il voit en fait le désir, la qualité du désir. Krishna se nourrit en fait aussi d'émotions spirituelles et d'échanges avec son dévot. Donc, il est dit que la qualité d'un sacrifice, elle dépend de la mentalité, de l'attitude que l'on a quand on accomplit ce sacrifice. It is said that the quality of a sacrifice depends on the consciousness and the mentality we have. If we practice sacrifice, and the main sacrifice is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, but we don't have the proper mentality, it's like the pushing of a heavy vehicle, but not from behind on the sides. You push, it moves a little, but it doesn't move that much as desired. So the mentality, how we do things and the desire we cultivate, it's preeminent, and the mood we address Krishna also in a humble, always humble mood. Donc l'humilité aussi quelque chose d'important parce que on ne peut pas désirer, exiger de Krishna. It's not possible to ask Krishna like it is something that we should be given. We are not only beggars on the street for distributing books, but we are firstly beggars for Krishna to give us some mercy. Donc on est des mendiants, pas seulement dans la rue pour que les gens puissent acheter les livres que l'on propose à Krishna, que l'on leur propose, mais on mendie pour que on ait suffisamment d'humilité pour demander du service à Krishna. S'il te plaît, engage-moi dans un service. We have so many people who are begging a job, hankering here and there, loitering, doing nothing, spoiling their time, like the cats. They are roaming, doing nothing practically. A lot of people are like that, unemployed. And they are like beggars. But they beg for a situation where they can get their monthly check. We are beggars for having a place as a piece of dust on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Please make me as a piece of dust at your lotus feet. Just a little piece, nothing. I don't ask so much. It is not so much, but it's also a lot because it's at the foot of Lord Krishna. It's not ordinary. It's not like being a piece of dust at the feet of the first minister or the boss of this company or like that. That's what people want. No, we ask to be a piece of dust, but lotus feet on the spiritual matter, with himself a piece of dust on the other spiritual matter, etc. up to the gopis, up to Radharani, up to Krishna. This is the way, how it works, the chain. So our mentality is that we are beggars, and we are very humble to do that. Because if you are too puffed up, you cannot be a beggar. I have seen when I was doing Sankirtan at the beginning, especially I was so much engrossed in the feeling of being a super engineer. I was smashed everywhere. People would smash the door to me because I had not the right attitude. I could not sell any books. For a long time it has been like that. Donc la position du dévot, c'est qu'il est un mendiant non seulement dans la rue pour que les gens puissent accepter les livres de Sri Prabhupada, mais il est un mendiant auprès de Krishna pour, s'il te plaît, place-moi, rends-moi comme une particule de poussière à tes pieds pareils au lotus. Donc beaucoup de gens se promènent dans la vie au chômage, ils ne font rien, un peu comme les chats ici à la Nouvelle Mayapur, ils n'ont pas grand-chose à faire parce qu'ils essaient de mendier une position pour avoir un chèque à la fin du mois pour pouvoir vivre. Mais la position du dévot, ce n'est pas pour le corps, c'est pour satisfaire Krishna, c'est pour pouvoir être au moins un petit instrument dans les mains de Krishna. Donc c'est cette attitude-là qui charme Krishna. Parce que si on est mendiant, mais qu'on a une attitude gonflée, motivée par n'importe quoi, je suis riche, j'ai de la connaissance, ou bien je suis une bonne éducation, les gens nous claquent la porte au nez et ne veulent pas nous voir. On ne peut pas placer un seul livre. J'ai vécu ça, très difficile, changer la mentalité. So it's not an easy thing to change our mentality from being a lord of everything to being the servant of everybody. Donc c'est un gros challenge d'avoir la mentalité qu'on pense que tout est fait pour nous, on est le centre de l'univers, c'est le gros faux égo. On est le serviteur de tout le monde, et peut-être un jour de Krishna. So we start first by trying to be the servant. Gopi Bartur Padakamanayok. Dasanu. We try to be the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the Gopis of Vrindavan. Donc la manière d'accéder en fait au service de Radha Krishna, c'est de servir les serviteurs, qui servent eux-mêmes les serviteurs, qui servent les serviteurs. Ainsi de suite. Cette attitude de service, elle charme Krishna, et elle fait qu'on est en fait le serviteur de tout le monde. Mais pour que les gens s'élèvent spirituellement et donner l'exemple. So we try to be servant of the servant of the servant in order also to show the example so that people can understand that this mentality is the source of well-being for the whole of mankind and that situation will please Krishna. So once in the practice of singing, we see that Mother Yashoda was inventing his own tube, his own tube, her own tube, means her own tune on with singing the pastime of Lord Krishna. She will do that herself. She will have some music ready and she will paste les paroles, comment on dit les paroles? Songs of the saying. Even you can hear some mundane songs, you like them, and you paste on them the song about the pastime of Krishna. Sometimes I do that, like karaoke. You have a nice song, it's mundane song, but on top of it you paste the Mahamantra. And Niranjan Prabhu was doing that with Beatles and some other songs like that. It's a good process because it is already here in the mind. You record it from the past, but you spiritualize it. So here, Srila Prabhupada used this word, poeticized all of Krishna childhood activities. It's another Prabhupada word, invents a specific word to stick to the situation. I don't know if it is English, poeticize, you can do that, or it's really a Prabhupada word. To poeticize Lord Krishna's activities. So this was not only Yashoda Mai's business, but all of Rajbasi were doing that. So nowadays, say, you have plenty of songs, we don't know them, we chant just Hare Krishna between Vrindavan. A lot of songs are about activities of Lord Krishna in Bollywood mood or like that, because they are soaking in this kind of culture. What can we do? So that's a way to spiritualize our activities. And she will do that in a spontaneous way, because we cannot speak even of Vaidhi Bhakti or Raganuga Bhakti. They are above quantifying the level of Bhakti that we can imagine or depict in books left by the Goswamis of Vrindavan. Donc la dévotion de Yashoda Mai se traduisait aussi par le fait qu'elle inventait des chansons qui étaient populaires et elle les spiritualisait en les adaptant avec les paroles des activités de Krishna. Donc on peut nous aussi faire la même chose. On a des chansons du passé qui nous tiennent dans la mémoire, mais on peut coller par-dessus, comme au karaoké, les divertissements de Krishna ou le Mahamantra, et rendre ainsi cette mémoire spiritualisée. It's like in the memory, you have so many zeros, you put the one in front of it, it becomes a lot. If you put Krishna in front, all the past becomes a big asset. Same way, you had some habits, you spiritualize them, then it becomes an asset for you. So Mother Yashoda was doing that, poeticize, that's the word used by Srila Prabhupada, poeticize Lord Krishna's childhood activities. So to stay in Krishna consciousness, we should follow such persons. Donc Srila Prabhupada donne la recette. Si on veut garder notre conscience de Krishna, on doit aussi suivre cet exemple. Aussi, on peut inventer des prières qui sont copiées ou qui s'inspirent de nos prédécesseurs, nos acharyas, et les adapter à notre situation. We can also explore the stockpile of poetry and songs that have been left by our acharya and adapt them for our own situation, our case, like that. So prayers are here, a whole stockpile of them that we can adapt to our situation. There may be some comments or question about this verse. Translation again. Srila Shukadev Goswami continued. One day when Mother Yashoda saw that all of the maidservants were engaged in other household affairs, she personally began to churn the yogurt. While churning, she remembered the childish activities of Krishna, and in her own way, she composed songs and enjoyed singing to herself about all of these activities. Traduction. Un jour, Mère Yashoda, constatant que toutes les servantes étaient occupées à d'autres tâches domestiques, se mit à barater elle-même le yogourt. Ce faisant, elle se souvenait des activités enfantines de Krishna, au sujet desquelles elle composait des chants à sa manière, prenant plaisir à les fredonner pour elle-même. So same way with the cows. She had her own cows, and she would fill them with her own herb. special service. You have normal standard service, but you see that exalted personality, they do something a little aside that makes the service a super extra first quality. Yes?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I have a question about, so we have these 5 primary rasas, yes, for Raganuga Bhakti. Can you help us to understand how to discover which is the right rasa for your jiva?
Which is the right for us. It will show up in due course of time. Also, it depends on what you like to do, what your tendency here are, and also what your spiritual master says. But anyway, you always stick to the path of Vedic Bhakti in all cases. Even if you are spontaneous or you are Rajbasi, you are in a society of devotees, and you try to stick to the best of what you can in the situation where you have to stick to what your Prabhupada says. Now your relationship with Krishna will crystallize in due course of time. Don't worry, don't be in a rush. These things happen after some time. Also you pick up what are the details, you can work on your spiritual activity, and mainly your way of filtering away the anarthas in your chantings. We recite every day the 11 errors to avoid when chanting the Hare Krishna Hare Rama mantra. But the main one that we put aside at the end is to be inattentive while chanting Hare Krishna. Actually, this is all the other offenses we can easily avoid, but this 11 offense is most difficult to eradicate because we've been living with the mind like a monkey in the jungle, jumping from here to here and there. And in the spiritual world, yes, it is like that. In the spiritual world, the monkey is domesticated. It is part of the Krishna's friend, and it is doing what we told him to do. He is domesticated. So the mind, in order to be domesticated and from being a wild monkey, there's a lot of training to be there. So the mind is like that. Little by little, it takes time. But after some time, when you start to cultivate the taste in the chanting of Hare Krishna, the mind becomes satisfied by that. It is the hook. You have to make your mind attracted and attached to taste, this spiritual taste. When the Krishna dance in the tongue, you are on the verge of liberation, but you don't care about. You care about keeping it always. As soon as your mind wanders, you chant or internally or you chant externally. And you have to train to chant internally, because one day you'll be on an hospital death, on your deathbed, and you may not be able to call Krishna externally. Or you have no enough strength to speak Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. So, if you have cultivated internally to chant, a lot of devotees, I saw in other mat, they were chanting silently. Srila Prabhupada said us to sing loudly, but it's not Maya to chant internally, in top of your 20 or 16 rounds. One day you'll be in need of chanting internally. when Gopinath Pattanayaka was on the Kanga, it was a landlord, rich, and he had mismanaged his money owned due to the government. So by some arrangement he was condemned to death. And then he was about to be killed. And everybody rushed to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please do something for him. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I'm a sannyasi, what can I do? I have done some mistake, pray to Jagannath, do only this. So of course he made some arrangement behind. An officer came and explained the story to the king. The king changed his mind and he sent someone to save Gopinath Pattanayaka at the last time. So Gopinath was tied. He was ready to be thrown in a hole with spikes, the way they killed the people, the criminals at this time in Bengal, not Bengal, Orissa. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, what was he doing? He was chanting Hare Krishna. So that's the test. He was really pushed on the verge of death, and he was chanting Hare Krishna. We should be able to do that in any condition, because that's the final test. If we keep Krishna events in two words or internally in the mind, there won't be any problem at the time of death. Your mind will be fixed on Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Giri Govardhan